Okay, freshmen, today we are going to continue our thinking about showing rather than telling with a little example. Am thinking about writing another This I Believe essay, and I want to write about a moment that my father and I had when he was driving me to college one year. We were in Wyoming, driving on the freeway, and I really want to write about this moment and kind of see where it takes me. Maybe I'll use it, maybe I won't. But I know because I've written before that I want to grab my reader's attention right at the beginning. Now there's a couple things I can do to accomplish that. I can use some really good description, or even better yet, I can start with dialogue and just throw the reader into the middle of my story with somebody saying something. And I'm thinking I probably will do that. I don't want to start with all the backstory about, hey, we're driving to college or anything like that. I can get there later. So I'm going to start with dialogue. So I'm going to start with my father speaking. So he says, "Why do you think we fight all the time?" So then I'm going to close my quotes. Now, I could use a dialogue tag here. I could say my father said or something like that, but I want to do something a little more elegant. I want to not necessarily say that my father is saying this, but I want to, allow my father to do something so that we get a little bit of his character, right? So I'm going to say my father looked at me from behind his large bifocals. He gripped the steering wheel of my grandfather's Suburban. And then maybe I'll use a semicolon and we'll do another complete thought right here. The faintest signs of age marking the backs of his hands. All right, so what I've done here is I've thrown the reader in with him, asking this question: why do we fight all the time? And then I've given you a little bit of description. He's driving a car right now, and I've given a little description of my father. So now I'm going to go back and do a little bit of the backstory, right? I'm going to get a little so we're grounded in context, right? I knew something like this was coming the moment we hit I-25 in Colorado. Dad had insisted that I put away my music and books. He said we should talk, enjoy each other's company. So I'm doing a little bit of telling, which is okay. You can mix that in, but I'm using this to transition and get back. You need a little bit of context to get you back to the overall story, right? So we hit the Wyoming border before he spoke. No turning back, I figured. Okay. So then I'm going to go back and get back with the dialogue and really ground us back in scene, right? So I don't know, Dad. And once again, I don't know that I want to say I said. I think that, as a two-person conversation, I don't know that I really need it. So, resolute, I stared straight ahead. So I'm going to go ahead and continue writing, and so that you don't have to watch the entirety of it being written, and then I'll bring you back when it's done. And through the magic of cinema, here we are. This is my moment. So just some things I'd like to highlight. I continued along with this dialogue, and I really stuck with the dialogue beats rather than dialogue tags. I just feel like it works way better. So every chance I got, I was having either myself or my father do something to show that they're speaking. So for instance, right here, when I drive, I like to look at scenery, and then I said, "Dad glanced at me. Do you know why?" We know that my father's speaking there, so we don't need the "my father said" or "dad said" or anything like that. And I tried to get as much description in there as possible, right? Like I tried to describe the Wyoming sun blazing through the windshield, and the tumbleweeds and the twang of the country music and things like that. But I really want to highlight, if you want to throw the reader in the middle of your story. Don't give us a ton of background. We don't need it. Just write in that moment and use dialogue, use really great description, use dialogue tags or dialogue beats, and I think it will, be really more interesting. So this is my moment that I got written up, and good luck with your moments.